Wanted to talk about something that's really, really important. And I always get this question, and the question is, do you need a financial advisor or somebody that can help you with your finances, especially when it comes to the investing part of it? Um, and it really depends on the individual. And, if somebody is very well equipped when it comes to finances and investing, they really don't need a financial advisor or somebody to help them. But if somebody is, and maybe they don't want to focus as much on it, and they really do need some help when it comes to investing because they don't have a discipline that's necessary to actually do that, and maybe they don't have the time, then yes, I think that might be a very good thing. And for the people that don't have the financial knowledge or the investing knowledge, then yes, it can be very helpful. But you really have to look at a couple of things. Number one, if you do have one, if you are using one, there's a high cost. I mean, from 1% to a lot higher, maybe 1.5, 1.75% of the value of your assets that's being charged against you. And what are they really doing for you? And so if you do have one, if you are using one, you really need to make sure that whatever they're doing with the allocations, that ultimately those allocations are actually doing better than the indexes or the market that they're actually mimicking, with those allocations. And you should be able to ask and get that. And if you get that and you see that their returns or whatever they're putting you into is less than what the market or those against very specific indexes are would be giving you, then that's a problem. Um, because you're not doing very well. In fact, in cases like that where you want to be invested, you want to have those allocations, then you can actually just be a passive investor and have your money put into very specific index ETFs or funds that focus on specific areas of the market. And again, they're following basically an index, something that's been created already for them. And so the costs are very low. And in general, you're following the market, depending on, again, for the specific allocations that you're wanting to be in. And that's okay. You can do quite well, actually, really well. In fact, you can actually beat most of the time, in fact, probably quite a very high percentage of the time, those active investors or those financial advisors that are basically always tweaking your investments. And like I said, I mean, you should be able to get what you ask for. You should be able to get the results versus, again, some sort of market measurement that you can actually compare against and see how they're doing. And again, if they're not actually doing better, and then make sure you take into account also the costs that are being added on top of that. And if you're not doing any better, then you need to just not have one, not have those costs, and focus on just some passive investing, which in the end, I think all of us can do that. In fact, we can do more than that. And the second thing that they should be giving you is education. Okay, they should be advising you on educating and educating you on different things so that in the end, you can actually be self-reliant on what you need to do and not really have to rely on them. If you're relying on them for everything, that's not a good thing. They should be getting to a point where you actually know as much as what they're doing, as much as you should know to be self-reliant and doing what you need to do to be successful. Um, and again, that's the goal. I think that's the goal for everybody. And there's also something else nowadays, especially with so much information being available to all of us. I mean, through searches and even through the AI engines that can actually, we can actually converse with. Uh, there's so much information out there and so many questions that can be answered very, very easily, without having to actually ask the advisor. And so I think the world has made it so that, again, if it's truly somebody who's helping you, who's actually helping you to actually do better than the market, advising you on different plans that actually are beneficial, educating you so that in the end, maybe you don't have to rely on them. Those are, like I said, that's not a bad thing. But if you're not getting any of that, then save the money and start looking at maybe doing some of it on your own. And again, if you just want to be a passive investor, you can actually do quite well. And you over time, it actually works out really, really well, actually. Okay, if you just decide to do that and not really be as intimate or maybe involved in it on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. Um, but again, and there are other things you can that again, financial advisors or financial people can actually help you with, especially when it comes to analysis. That's the other thing. What analysis are they doing for you? Um, most of them are actually just punching into a system your information and then just telling you what the system is telling them. Okay, so are they really that good? Uh, Probably not. So if they don't understand, if they can't actually do an analysis on their own for you, then I don't know what the value is. There's a lot of good systems out there where you can actually do it yourself and see what you need, and even at retirement, what how much you need for retirement based on certain expenses. All there's a lot of models out there. Obviously, some of the more equipped models that are require customization. That's where somebody who actually does do a lot of analysis can actually help you with, and they can actually model it out for you. Um, but either way, just wanted to put that out there. And again, be careful, make sure you ask all the right questions, make sure you're getting true benefit, from having that advisor do the investing for you. And again, ask for comparisons, truly ask for comparisons, and not just what they have, but also outside of what they have and see how they're doing relative to, again, and most of the time it should be against a market index, some broad measurement or very narrow measurement that can be used to see whether it be bonds, whether it be equities, whether it be certain sectors of the market, growth parts of the market, you should be able to see how you're doing relative to those measurements, those metrics, okay, those indexes. All right. Hopefully that was helpful.